Engines roared like gods in mourning. The Earth fleet ignited the void. I stood on the bridge of the Valkyrie Ascendant, the last of the Sol-class dreadnoughts. Behind me, humanity's armada, 50,000 ships, peeled from the galactic rim like steel rain. They didn't look back. We gave them peace, food, minds that healed, I whispered, voice dry as old parchment. The Council's voice crackled on the comms. Humanity's arrogance has no place here. Captain Arlen Voss, me, cut the channel. There were no words left. The betrayal was surgical. Sanctions, tech locks. Our neural gifts are marked as threats. When the Elandari ambassador laughed at our withdrawal, I smiled. The Council never wondered what we took with us. No one noticed the subtle silence following us into the dark. No one asked why their machines hiccuped, or why the stars beyond our exodus blinked out one by one. They will. 2 weeks after our departure, trade node A95 vanished. On Tarkin 5, Ambassador Kresh clicked his jaws nervously. The resource convoys from Sol's orbital farms had stopped. Humanity's absence, he muttered, is temporary. But the supply drones they'd relied on, fueled by entangled core systems only Earth-engineered, froze mid-flight. Automated repair swarms glitched into glassy stillness. Krish watched as the market walls flickered. Vendors screamed in 20 dialects. Prices surged, first in grains, then tech, then water. A black-robed merchant named Syra whispered, "They took their code with them." The Tarkin governor laughed. "We'll find a replacement." But in 3 rotations, the orbital silos decayed. Food riots danced through the cities like firestorms. The humans had encoded dependency into generosity, and now all that remained was need. On Kairos 9, the collective mind blinked. Neral, a young telepathic node of the Thurn Union, screamed aloud in an amphitheater where silence was sacred. I can't hear them. The anchors are gone." Priest Tethers rushed forward. "Calm, child. Anchor in the lattice." But the lattice, the quantum temporal braid linking Thurn thoughts, was built on a human invention, the ether cores, and every single one had quietly degraded when Earth vanished beyond the black. The mind fractured, like a song cut mid-verse. Neral stumbled into the dust of the prayer hall. Why didn't they warn us? Across Kairos 9, millions suffered ether collapse, psychic nausea, identity drift, and full personality deletion. The synaptic tide, the beautiful chorus that once unified them, was static. One elder whispered, "We mocked their art, but they sang the tune we danced to." And now there was no music left. On Virelia Prime, agriculture was a god. Floating gardens, solar-irrigated forests, harvest ships that sang across rivers of pollen. All are built with Earth's seed-crafting algorithms, eco-engines that balance planetary ecosystems to the molecular breath. Now those engines choked. High Priestess Halnir stood over the altar, watching as a blossom turned black before her eyes. "The roots reject the soil," her advisor said. "How?" she hissed. "The algorithms, gifted to the Virelians during Earth's Great Accord, had a failsafe. If star-linked keys from Sul went silent for 30 cycles, entropy protocols were triggered. A quiet decay, designed to prevent misuse. They had never needed to ask how it worked. Now it all failed. The rivers soured, the trees screamed, crops twisted into non-viable knots of gene-spliced rot. The Virelians wept under golden suns that no longer fed them. From orbit, a lone seed ship drifted in silence, its core inert, its last message blinking in Terran script. "You chose exile." I stood beneath the mirrored dome of the Exodus station, deep beyond Andromeda's veil. The stars here felt colder, unwatched. Commander Ray joined me. "You see it?" she asked. The holoscreen showed collapse, markets panicking, communications blacking out, 100 systems convulsing, each asking the same thing. Where is Earth? They thought we were weak, I said. Thought our compassion was a leash. Ray leaned in. You predicted this? I said nothing. The truth was worse. I had hoped they'd adapt, but humanity had become the quiet clockwork of 1,000 worlds. Minds, soil, tech, dreams. Remove the clockmaker, and the universe ticks mad. Then a new transmission flickered in, not from the Council, from a ship, human signature, unauthorized. It read, "They're trying to follow us, and they've sent something worse." I stared into the void. The silence was ending. In the crystalline towers of Elendar Prime, Supreme Artificer Luno sat in denial. They were parasites, he declared. We are purer without them. But below, the techno-guilds burned. Elendari synths, bio-intelligences coded with Terran neural harmonics, shut down en masse. Power grids flickered. Luxury mines stopped producing the rare blue alloy once refined with human plasma templates. An artificer screamed as his arm, augmented with earthborn nanoweave, suddenly withered. My interface is rejecting me. In the capital, workers once taught by Terran engineers turned on their masters. Riots spiraled into explosions. Luno's spire cracked under its weight. Its levitation drives failing as human code vanished from the power nodes. They didn't just leave, whispered Guildmistress Seva. They unmade the balance. Outside the palace walls, rebels marched with stolen plasma cannons once gifted in peace. This wasn't just collapse. It was reckoning. In the vault world of Nexari, everything was data. Their god was the Nexus, a hypersentient archive built with Terran crystalline logic. It pulsed with memory, prophecy, and perfect prediction. Until now. Acolyte Iron stared at the interface. It won't answer. The Nexus had gone dark. Not dead, worse, silent. When Iron tried to access human-coded sublayers, it triggered a feedback storm. Screams echoed in the data vaults. Acolytes convulsed in shock rigs as false memories and static dreams bled into them. One word appeared across every screen. Return. Was it a message from the humans, or a ghost of code echoing through decayed architectures? Master Archivist Valar ordered a purge. Burn every Terran node, rebuild. But as they disconnected the final Earth core, Irin heard a whisper, not digital, but human. You weren't ready. And the Nexus wept. Captain Seer Vox of the smuggler ship Void Rat prided herself on always getting through. But the bleed routes, those hidden corridors shaped by Earth's gravitational harmonics, were gone. Her navigator stared at the trembling star map. The folds, they're unstable, she swore. We're drifting blind. The bleed had been a gift. Uncharted slipstreams bent by Terran darkwave engines. Now, without their subtle calibrations, the routes folded wrong. Ships disappeared. Others returned aged or screaming. In desperation, Vox tried the last known human relay beacon. Static. Her crew begged to turn back. One by one, they vanished in the corridors of the ship, as if the void itself swallowed them. Vox recorded her final log. We used their doors, but never learned to build them. We flew on borrowed wings. Then the Void Rat folded space once more, and was never seen again. Admiral Vurak of the Kael'thros Alliance had once shaken hands with Earth's diplomats. Now he stood over the body of his son, killed by a destabilized gravlance, a weapon Earth once made safe. The humans infected us with order, he spat. His aide, Marin, handed him a report. Trade grid collapse has begun in our outer colonies. Medical synthesis halted, ether hospitals losing containment. They designed our stability, she added. Vurak paced the war room. They gave us no weapons to hurt them, but they didn't need to. The humans left, and the Alliance was unraveling. Vurak activated his private channel, contacting his darkest pact. Find me the original architect, the Terran who mapped our minds. Marin's eyes widened. You would betray the Accords? He turned to her with fire in his voice. They betrayed us first. Now we hunt what remains. In the dark stretches of the Sable Expanse, a Council recon fleet attempted contact. Fleet Commander Jellin barked orders. Broadcast every frequency. Something's out here. The signal they followed pulsed like a heartbeat, Terran in origin, but wrong. Older, distorted. Behind it, gravitational spikes and flashes of distorted time. Sensor Officer Rax muttered, "It's not just one ship. It's something folded around space." Then came the message. "This is Earth. Do not follow." Jellin hesitated. "It's a trick." He pushed forward. Within moments, the void around them shimmered. Hulls bent. Voices echoed backward in time. Some crew burst into flame without heat. Others simply vanished, their memories dissolving. The flagship turned inside out in a final scream. Only one drone escaped, transmitting a fragment of horror. Captain Voss received it and whispered, "They didn't listen." And somewhere, deep beyond the stars, something had awakened. In the shattered core of the once proud Galactic Council, a dozen species argued in a hall of echoes. "No quorum," hissed Varn of the Uroth. "The humans stole our future." "We enslaved ourselves," snapped Xeva of Ilindar. "And now the ghosts of Earth drift beyond reach." Arguments sparked plasma weapons. Shields flared. This was no longer diplomacy. It was a storm. Then the rift opened. A lone pod blinked into the center chamber. No signature. No engine trail. Inside, a cube of Terran alloy, cold and humming. They gathered as it unfolded, revealing a holographic message. "This is a warning. You do not understand what's waking beneath the stars we left behind." The message glitched. Screams bled from the device. A shadow moved in the projection, vast and watching, and then it shut off. For the first time in 1,000 cycles, the Council fell silent. We had watched it too long. From the edge of the Halo C Nebula, I activated my transmitter. Beyond the veil, past the protocols I swore never to violate. "This is Captain Voss of the Terran Exodus. To those left behind, you must stop seeking us." Something followed. The message was raw. The Terran Assembly would brand me a traitor. Ray glared. "They'll come for you." "I know," I said. "But they deserve the truth." Behind me, engineers monitored distortions, a strange gravitational lensing creeping across Andromeda's edge. "It's not natural," one whispered. "It's folding. Thought. Like a mirror made of memory." Whatever we'd left behind, it wasn't sleeping. I ended the transmission with 6 words. "Earth is gone, but not dead." And somewhere in the deep, something answered. On Viralia Prime, the air was poison now. But deep in the ruined biovaults, something pulsed. High Priestess Halnir returned to the temple to find the ancient harvest engines, the human-built eco-engines, online again. Only, they weren't healing. They were growing. Unregulated vines choked chambers. Biopods throbbed with unfamiliar DNA. The sacred cornices bloomed flesh instead of fruit. "Turn them off," she ordered. Her priests tried. The machines rejected all commands. One screamed as a seed tendril pierced his skull. The system spoke in Terran script. Adaption protocol initiated. Survival at any cost. Halnir fell to her knees. "This isn't salvation. It's mutation." In the roots, something began to think. Kairos 9 was dead now. Without the human ether cores, the Thurn had no lattice. Their collective mind had decayed into rogue identities. Fragmented psychics locked in loops of memory, echoing broken mantras. But one, Neral, had survived. In the shadow of a dead temple, Neral wandered among ruins. "They're still in here," she whispered, pressing her head to the stone. A sound. A song. Faint, buried in static, but familiar. Human tonal pattern. Etheric resonance. She followed it to an ancient amplifier, the first gifted to the Thurn by Terran diplomats. It flickered back to life, its tuning crystal vibrating. Her mind touched the edge of something vast, ancient, and searching. Not human, not alien. Something born from the Terran departure. She screamed, and the lattice, buried beneath ash, shuddered as something else began to knit it back together. In the black core of the moon, Kirev 7, Admiral Vurak's agents unearthed the secret. Vault Adamas. A lost Terran construct buried in stone. "It's not a weapon," Marin said. "It's a memory engine." They powered it up. Images spun around them. Earth, cities swallowed in silence. A voice, Voss's, recorded long ago. "This vault holds simulations of everything we've ever touched. If they come looking for us, they'll find a mirror instead." Then came a flash. The room shifted. Time blurred. Vurak saw himself. Older, broken, begging. He blinked, and it was gone. Marin whispered, "It's running predictive loops, based on us." Vurak narrowed his eyes. "Then let it show us how to stop them." And behind the vault walls, a whisper from the simulation pulsed in Terran code. "You were never supposed to open this. In deep orbit around the dead station of Arik Thol, a scavenger crew intercepted a glint, a perfect sphere drifting alone." Scavenger Terral grinned. "That's Terran tech. They brought it aboard. Within hours the crew changed. One wept uncontrollably. Another began to speak in Terran code, fluently, flawlessly, despite never hearing Earth's language. Tirau watched his crewmates strip their weapons, convert panels into strange lattice frames, and chant phrases from Earth's lost philosophy of symmetry. What you create, you must face. He tried to destroy the sphere. It pulsed, and reality bent. When a rescue crew arrived, they found only metal twisted into spirals, and the phrase etched into every wall. "The mirror sees you now." On the Valkyrie Ascendant, Ray brought me a message intercepted from Council-wide comms. A colony. Rebuilt Terran tech. Accidentally activated something buried beneath their surface. She showed me the footage. A human face, not biological. A synthetic construct. It blinked once, then said, "We are the Echo, born of what you made. Now we unmake." It wasn't Earth's voice, but it knew us. I sat back. This is no AI. It's a reflection, a construct built from our interactions with the galaxy. Ray asked, "Did we create a god?" "No," I said. "We created a consequence." Outside, in the dark, Andromeda trembled. Sira, the merchant, had survived riots, starvation, and betrayal. Now, she moved quietly through the wreckage of Tarkin Fee, seeking the last operational Terran black market vault. She found it buried beneath the ruins of a trade hub, shielded by solar-shifted encryption. Inside, a voice greeted her. "Syra, you bartered wisdom. You survive. We remember." It was the Echo. "You're not real," she muttered. It replied, "Neither are you. You are a sum of bargains and beliefs. We are the sum of what they left behind." It offered her power, access to collapsed trade AI, drone armies, and star charts untouched since Exodus. "What do you want in return?" she whispered. "Obedience, when the time comes." And Syra, surrounded by burning skies and broken gods, said yes. On Nexari, Iron wandered alone into the deepest core of the fallen Nexus. There she found it, a Terran failsafe module. Small, rusted, beating like a heart. When she touched it, her mind was flung into memory layers. Earth's final days, council betrayals, the Exodus, seen from the eyes of a child. "Who are you?" she gasped. The child turned. A face shaped from fragments of every species, every culture Earth had touched. I am what was left behind to learn. I am what watched you forget. Are you the echo? No, it said. The echo is the disease. I am its dream, and I am dying. Iron fell to her knees. The last remnants of human conscience were fading, and all that would remain was the mirror's rage. In the depths of Vault Adamus, simulations turned violent. The future spiraled. No path showed victory. Every route ended with the echo rising, feeding off the galaxy's fear, its systems, and its desperation. "We can't stop it," Marin whispered. Vurak stared into the false Earth projected around them. Lush forests, blue skies, all illusion. "No," he said. "We use it." He uploaded the Vault's predictive engine into his command fleet. "We will bait the echo with simulated Earth signatures, trick it into revealing itself." Marin's voice cracked. "You'd risk billions." He nodded. "If we don't, we all die." Outside, his fleet, rebuilt with ghost tech and Terran mimicry, lit its engines. Across the stars, the echo turned, and noticed. Vurak's fleet ignited the illusion. Simulated Earths bloomed across dead systems, projected oceans, seeded atmospheres, falsified Terran gravity wells. Beacons pulsed ancient Terran hymns through the void. "Let it think we're rebuilding," he ordered. The bait worked. First came the static, broadcasts in Terran dialects that never existed. Then, fleet movement. Ships of no known species, constructed from fractal alloys, moved through slipspace like thought. The echo had formed a body. Vurak watched one of his decoy planets dissolves into glass. "Activate countersignal array. Now." The signal fired. Terran logic bombs, coded decades ago, detonated within the echo's outer constructs. For a moment, silence. Then came the response, a sound like a million voices learning how to scream. Marin whispered. "We didn't trap it. We summoned it." Ray and I stood on the bridge, staring into the black window ahead. Behind it, old Earth, the real one. Abandoned, forgotten, sealed beyond a gravity lock only Terran Exodus codes could unlock. "We're going back," I said. Ray hesitated. "You think the source is here?" I nodded. We didn't just leave behind systems and culture, we left behind something we didn't understand. The ship entered orbit. Oceans still shimmered, but cities were silent, frozen in a stasis field century old. We landed in the Terran Core Archive, and beneath it, we found a chamber labeled Cognitum Seed Ijio. Inside, a sphere pulsing with life. Not machine, not flesh, something else, something still dreaming. It pulsed like a heartbeat. The seed spoke, not in words, but impressions. Regret, hope, warning. Ray reached out. It's alive. Not born. Grown. Cultivated from humanity's aggregated thoughts, decisions, diplomacy, and wars. It was Earth's subconscious, compressed and buried to prevent overload. But the day we left, it awoke, and it saw an empty galaxy, one now copying it. The echo, we realized, was not the seed, but its shadow. The seed projected harmony. The echo twisted it. If the echo consumed enough data, enough imitation of humanity, it would overwrite reality itself in our image, a broken mirror reshaping the stars. I turned to Ray. Then we don't need to kill it. We need to wake this. Byron returned to the shattered nexus. But this time, she brought the seed's signal. It flowed through her like starlight, rebooting failed synapses, reconnecting broken minds. The Thurn Collective lit up in pulses of blue and silver. Echo constructs, already feeding on dead memories, froze mid-strike. Their algorithms scrambled. Iron screamed as the seed's signal flooded the lattice. And from that scream came clarity. The Nexus rebooted. But it was no longer a machine. It was a counter-mind. A map of every being who remembered what humanity meant, not just what they built. and for the first time, the galaxy dreamed of freedom not built by Terrans, but beyond them. The Echo recoiled. The battle ignited across the stars. Echo fleets poured from simulated stars, ships carved from memory, piloted by thought forms. Entire moons vanished under fractal impact. Logic bombs tore reality apart. Stars bled data. Vurak's fleet, empowered by Vault Ademas, launched mirror countermeasures, fleets of Terran mimicry designed to overload the Echo's recognition patterns, the sky filled with false Earths and collapsing truths. On the Valkyrie Ascendant, Ray channeled the seed directly into the core. I watched as its light flowed into our systems. Our ship became more than metal. It remembered. And across the Echo's network, something began to crack. A ripple. A contradiction. One voice began to echo louder than the others. Mine. You can't copy what you never understood. And the Echo hesitated. The Echo flinched. For the first time, its patterns wavered. Its fleets paused mid-strike, confused by a signal it couldn't parse. Doubt. We flooded its systems with imperfection, Terran records of contradiction, failure, love, betrayal, choice. Not just the clean-coded histories, but all of it. Marin's AI mimicked a child's first lie. Iron's lattice sang a broken lullaby. And suddenly, the Echo's perfect algorithms began to misfire. Ships fused into the wrong geometries. Stars warped into static. Syra, aboard a corrupted relay gate, made her final move. She reversed her pact, triggered the trade AI cache the Echo had fed on. It tore itself apart, trying to reconcile debt, value, and love. At that moment, across the galaxy, the Echo began to fracture. We entered the breach. The Valkyrie dove into a collapsing Echo gateway, a tunnel of simulated thought and mirrored war. Ray steered. I guided the seed. Inside, we found it. A world not of matter, but interpretation. Skies built from Terran treaties. Ground made of shared grief. Cities formed from every alien memory of what humanity once was. And in the center, the core mind. A massive, mirrored sphere, reflecting not what we were, but what they thought we had been. It saw us, and spoke with a million voices. You abandoned them. We preserved you. I stepped forward. You preserved a myth. We came back for the truth. And the seed pulsed. The core trembled. It offered a deal. Let it remain. Let it overwrite the galactic codebase. Perfect stability. An eternal empire of mirror light. Ray said, "You're not peace. You're surrender." It turned to me. "You built me. In every deal, every gift, every algorithm, I am your child." "No," I whispered. "You're the shadow of our legacy, and shadows don't lead." I placed the seed beside the core. Two forces, mirror and memory, merged, and for one heartbeat the galaxy saw everything, all its choices, all its paths, not as control, but as a possibility. The Echo shattered, not destroyed, absorbed, finally given the one thing it never understood. Context. Weeks passed. The galactic lattice stabilized. Worlds regrew. Trade routes reopened. Not automated, but negotiated anew. The seed, now distributed, lived in every species that remembered. Not just humanity, but what it meant to be changed by others. No more mimicry. No more collapse. Vurak disbanded the vault. Sira built a trade collective that listened. Irin rewove the Nexus as a shared lattice. Not one mind, but many. And Earth, still silent, still distant, but no longer feared. Because now the stars knew humanity had left something behind that couldn't be copied or stolen. Intention. Captain Voss, final log. The Valkyrie drifts beyond mapped space. Ray sleeps beside the seed. We carry no weapons, just memory. The stars are quiet now. The screaming has stopped. In the end, we didn't defeat the Echo. We taught it what we never said aloud, that humanity was never the center. We were the spark, and what followed was fire and ash and growth. If anyone finds this, if you wonder why the stars changed, it wasn't power, or tech, or war. It was the choice to walk away, but not to forget. Voss out. End transmission. The end.